In Kinnikuman Perfect Origin Arc, the recently made Chojin peace treaty between three factions has become null and void by the antagonistic hands of Strong the Budo. He and the other perfect large numbers don't want to take part in this peace treaty and rather remain unaffiliated with the other inferior Chojins. However, Strong is in the right in his claims about Neptuneman being an unsuitable representative of the Perfect Chojin, and the source of those faults lies within not only Neptuneman's actions, but also Big the Budo's role as a figurehead. But what did they do? To answer this question, one must venture into the penultimate arc of the original Kinnikuman series, which marks the debut of the Perfect Chojin. During the events of the Universal Dream Tag Tournament, the villains of this arc was set up to be the Stray Devil Chojin combo, made of Ashura Man and Sunshine. Ashura Man even went to extreme lengths to steal the friendship of the Justice Chojin and lock it in a box called the Betray's Box of Betrayal. The conflict was the source of everyone having trust issues and letting their hostile competitive nature take over. Sunshine and Ashura Man even managed to maim Geronimo's arm and even kill Kinnikuman's teacher, Prince Kamehame. These acts of cruelty further solidified their place as the arc's villains, but amidst this discord was two unexpected pairs of new adversaries, referring to themselves as Perfect Chojin, the Chojins closest to the gods. And as the arc continues, we find out this claim has a literal meaning. They've descended from outer space, or the heavens, and this will be greatly explored in the upcoming Perfect Origin arc and its related new material. As their name implies, Perfect Chojin are supposed to be perfect divine-like superhumans due to their bodies outclassing any other Chojin faction. In Kinnikuman lore, some characters have a hardness level, and the strongest category is hardness level 10, which is diamond power. Most, if not all, Perfect Chojin have the default hardness setting of diamond. Their Chojin Kyodo or Chojin power levels are also the highest of any faction. Characters like Buffalo Man and Warsman are barely in the millions, whilst Perfect Chojin go beyond that. In short, Perfect Chojin are so strong they're supposed to be unbeatable. During the tag tournament, Screw Kid and Kenda Man just appear out of nowhere and immediately kill Wolfman with their Hell Screwdriver. Brocken Jr. somehow survives but is incapable of fighting for the remainder of the arc. So it's up to the 10 million powers, Buffalo Man and Mongol Man to face these new opponents. Think of this as the precursor to many Battle Shonen arcs that came afterward, where a duo of new villains just show up and beat the heroes into submission. But sometimes we find out these new threats are actually the lowest ones on the totem pole. So enters the Hell Missionaries consisting of Neptuneman and Big the Budo, and let me reintroduce you to Big the Budo, who was wearing an oversuit on top of his regular attire. This is why in episode 0 he has this fade into another design. Upon losing to the 10 million powers, the Hell Missionaries execute Kenda Man and Screw Kid, because by experiencing defeat, they lost their flawless perfection. The Hell Missionaries immediately take over as the main arc's villains as they vanquish everybody. Every signature move is countered by Neptuneman due to his uses of Magnet Power and the Cross Bomber. This double lariat attack is capable of demasking wrestlers, but it can also decapitate or sever limbs off, such as Kinnikuman losing his left arm. The Cross Bomber would serve as the inspiration for this one scene in Naruto Shippuden when Killer Bee and Raikage double lariat Kisame's head off. Plus, they're both cloud ninjas that specialize in lightning-style jutsu akin to magnet power. During the final match of the Dream Tag, we find out that Big the Budo's secret identity is actually Neptune King, an ancient masked Chojin that's over 100,000 years old. His goal is revealed to be global conquest by eliminating the inferior Chojin. Neptune King had an army of thousands of perfect Chojin waiting for their leaders to ascertain their dominance over the Justice and Devil Chojin. Neptune King wanted to remove the masks of the Justice Chojin and for his followers to wear their masks and become the new rulers of Earth. Neptune King will even take Kinnikuman's mask for himself, which sounds hilarious. However, this didn't happen as the machine guns won against the Hell Missionaries. Terryman and Kinnikuman utilized their tag team attack, the Muscle Docking, which consists of the Kinniku Buster and the Kinniku Driver put together. Even with this loss, Neptune King reveals his 1000 Perfect Chojin followers will continue their assault without him. Thus, he perishes in the ring. Throughout this tag match, Neptuneman has been having second thoughts about the concept of friendship, more so when his partner Neptune King has been showing poor conduct unfit for a Perfect Chojin.
完璧超人はいかなる場合でも狂気を使わないというのが掟であったはず。それも時と場合による。今はそんなのんきなことを言っている場合ではない。
Having a change of heart and seeking redemption, Neptuneman decides to sacrifice himself by becoming a human flare. Perfect Chojins are not allowed to lose, and if they do, they must commit suicide. Therefore, Perfect Chojins carry a capsule explosive that must be ingested. Doing so will cause Neptuneman to die via an explosion, thus telling his fellow Perfects that this conquest failed. Upon doing so, Neptuneman prepares to depart this world, not as a Perfect Chojin, but as a heroic Justice Chojin.
君はこの世に完璧なものはないと言った。しかし私は見つけた。この世に完璧なものが一つだけある。それは正義超人の友情さ。さらば
But his story doesn't end there. A handful of Perfect Chojin sympathizers revive the dismembered Neptuneman. With a new lease on life, Neptuneman once again helps the Justice Chojin on multiple occasions. In the final arc of the original series, Scramble for the Throne, he briefly takes the disguise of a mysterious helper called the Samurai, before revealing himself as the new Justice Chojin, Neptuneman. He fights alongside Kinnikuman against Super Phoenix and Omega Man, and this is a crucial transition, as Neptuneman, the former enemy of the previous arc, is now the only person Kinnikuman can trust for the final fight of the series. And that is why the treaty can't be approved. It's supposed to represent Justice, Devil, and Perfect Chojin. But at this point in the story, Neptuneman is not really a Perfect Chojin due to his mindset. He believes in friendship and justice, which is something a Perfect Chojin has no need for. Dominance, discipline, and power is everything to them.
正義だの悪だのとうだうだ抜かすなありんこども。戦いに正義悪友情憎しみなど無用だ。戦いとは鍛えた体と鍛えた体のぶつかり合い。旧では実力もないくせに正義だの悪だのとわめくありんこどもが増えてきた。そのため我々はそいつらを懲らしめるために地球へとやってきたのだ。
But there's also another contributing factor, being Big the Budo, aka Neptune King. When this character debuted back in the 1980s, we had no reason to question him as the leader of the Perfect Chojin. But that was changed once the series came back in 2011, and that's partly why Big the Budo and Strong the Budo are similar in name and appearance. Going by the series' publication order, and this will include Ultimate Muscle, the Perfect Chojin hardly had relevance since their debut in the Dream Tag. Since then, we only met one other Perfect Chojin, being Omega Man. In Ultimate Muscle, there's likely other Perfect Chojin as part of the DMP, but even then, the focus was heavily placed on the Devil Chojin and the Brutal/Evil Chojin, the antagonistic characters that don't fit anywhere else. The point being, Perfect Chojin were very unexplored throughout the majority of Kinnikuman and Kinnikuman Nisei. Furthermore, Neptuneman only appears for a single panel in the beginning of Ultimate Muscle. And when Neptuneman finally returns in the Kinnikuman Nisei 2 Ultimate Chojin tag, he behaves more like an evil Chojin due to his sudden heel turn and for ripping faces off. Yeah, But that storyline doesn't occur in this continuity that we know of, maybe? So going from original Kinnikuman onto the 2011 present-day series, Neptuneman has the heart of a Justice Chojin. But what about Big Dabuto? Well, he died and stayed dead. Since the Perfect Chojins are now relevant again, some changes had to be made. These new characters, the Perfect Large Numbers, are ashamed of Neptune King's conduct by breaking Perfect Chojin laws. Neptune King disgraced the sanctity of the Perfect Chojin name by using a weapon instead of his own power. Furthermore, Neptune King not only lost, but he was also killed by his opponent rather than his own hand. The following is my own speculation since the Perfects don't address this, but Neptune King was a very elderly man. According to Neptuneman, masks were supposed to be bestowed for only powerful Chojin, and not to be used as a wrestling gimmick, more so if it meant to hide ugly faces. But Neptune King goes against that notion as he's barely clinging to life and uses a mask to hide his withered form. For the stated reasons, the remaining Perfect Chojin will not accept Neptune King, aka Big Dabuto, as their leader. Plus, since he's dead, this is the perfect opportunity for new management under a true Perfect Chojin. The dialogue differs between the translations of the scanlated manga and the Netflix episodes, but there's also discussion that Neptune King was a Perfect Chojin that went rogue to seek out his own agenda. The 1,000 followers he had were just the lower ranked members, while the elite consists of these new characters, the Perfect Large Numbers. What is surprising is Strong Dabuto refers to Neptuneman as a comrade who was brainwashed. The other large numbers also mention that his purity as a Perfect Chojin was compromised, as he got himself involved in the affairs of the Justice Chojin during the Survivor match for the Kinniku throne. Furthermore, he adopted the teachings of Justice Chojin via friendship power, as seen during his team-up with Kinnikuman. So for both being part of a rogue faction of Perfect Chojin and not following Perfect Chojin laws, Neptuneman was not the right representative for the Perfect Chojin. So Strong Dabuto is by all means correct. However, whether he was right or not, he would still be against the treaty. And that's because all Perfect Chojin have an elitist mentality, and interacting with other Chojin faction is blasphemous in their eyes. Thus, Neptuneman was punished off-screen. I don't know why the anime ignored this image, but Neptuneman is currently beaten up and locked in a cell in an undisclosed location. The anime does mention his predicament, but it comes off as a throwaway line since the visual aid isn't there to go with it. So the last thing to address is, why does Strong Dabuto look like Big Dabuto? Well, one can surmise that he is assuming the role of the figurehead of the Perfect Chojin, although the anime content thus far hasn't shown all of his cards as of yet. But we know he's a big deal due to his unexplained power of turning Chojin human with his zero tragedy. And the other large numbers heed to his words of wisdom. But why does he look like Big Dabuto? Honestly, it was probably meant solely on shock factor. Let me put it this way. For the average Kinnikuman fan, they may be familiar with Big Dabuto back in the 1980s. So fast forward to the 2010s, or in this case the 2020s, and people see this character who looks a lot like him, thus creating a little mystery. And there is one, which I won't spoil here. But I will say that we find out much later that their armor is something that's passed on, and it's only worn by those with great resolve, hence its name, the Armor of Resolve. As to what kinds of characters wear this armor, I'm not gonna tell you. So tune in next time as I talk about another Kinnikuman topic. Thank you to my few patrons for supporting me, and thank you for watching my channel, The Anime Hero. Bye.